CEO, 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 CEO. Yes! We're back at it again, episode 3 of Peak Graps Mayne, with yours truly, Tembelihle Bonda, Bonda. Call me Mr. Bonda if that's too difficult for you. Here we are. Um, I'm in a great mood, man. It might be a cold afternoon in East London, South Africa, but that don't matter to me, man. My glorious CEO hath returned to AEW Dynamite on the 3rd of June 2026. I'd firstly like to apologize for not being able to upload episode 3 on Sunday due to technical difficulties. You know, Wi-Fi routers, electricity, all the things. But we will get better with production as time goes, and I'll figure out. I'll figure it out as it goes. But yes, this is episode 3, and I think it's fitting because um this episode was fantastic, man. It's regular 2 hour-ish, 2 hour plus Dynamite. I wanted to scream my lungs out by the end of this episode, but it's our time is like 4:25, 4:30 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't do that because my family's asleep. Um, Man, listen, this was fun. I loved everything about this episode. I'm not gonna hold you. It was great, man. Let's get right into it without wasting any time whatsoever. The opening contest was for the AEW World Championship, so straight to business, Aslali. Right into it, man. So there was a backstage segment with El Toro Blanco Rouge, who was the number 1 contender. Backstage segment, he was talking to Renee ahead of his first opportunity at the AEW World Championship, which, of course, Maxwell Jacob hair transplant Friedman decided to interrupt as the current AEW World Champion, and that led into the opening contest. So, like, off rip, Rouge was like, I'm not taking no nonsense from this kid, bro. I'm gonna slap the taste buds out of his mouth. Kicked off with a topic on Hilo, and then he went for his patented barricade spot where it's like, I don't know if you guys have ever played King of Fighters. So there's this player, like, final boss basically of the game. His name is Rugal. There's this thing he likes to do where he grabs his opponent, he throws him to the wall, he grabs him again, he throws him to the other side. That's what Rouge does to people. So he takes Max, he throws him to one side of the barricade, and then he throws him to the other side of the barricade. So it's starting off hot, like just immediately. There's a face wash spot when they're back in the ring. You're just kicking him in the corner in his face. Also, fast forward, they're on the outside, and I think Rouge was trying to go for a shotgun dropkick to the barricade, but MJF reversed it, and then he was going for something similar, but then he also got reversed, and Rouge hit him with a backdrop on a table, but it didn't break. I think that hurts more actually when you bounce off the table on your like lower back. There's some forearm shots. There was a spot where they got back into the ring, and Rouge took out the turnbuckle, so he left it exposed. Tried to hit MJF's face on it, but Bryce Remsburg, the ref, stopped and was like, "Hey, listen, bros, come on now. You're getting too close to disqualification territory. Like, as much as it's an AEW World Championship match, but there are rules. So you're getting way too crazy, man. Just, like, keep it within the confines, you know?" And Rouge didn't care about none of that. MJF reversed that. He tried to put Rouge face on the exposed turnbuckle, but then Rouge reversed it and then his face hit it. MJF hit a spine buster at one point. Um, there was like a that snap German suplex that Rouge and Park and Pete Dunne like to do. I love the way they snap on it, bro. It's like they throw you towards the ropes and you don't even get enough time to like turn your back and try to go for a reversal. They just catch you and just throw you land on your neck. There was a jackknife cover by Rouge, followed by a kick out, and then MJF hit him with a power breaker. So basically, that's a combination of a power bomb into a backbreaker. Great move. Him and Josh Alexander have the best ones. MJF transitioned that into his Salt of the Earth, which is what his version of the Fujiwara armbar is called. Rouge got out of that and hit him with a crucifix pin for a kick out. Had him with this nasty headbutt, which I like to call the hammerhead. Shout out to Henare in New Japan. So he just like knocks you loopy. So now they're on the apron of the ring. And this dude, Rouge, bro, he straight jackets MJF's arms. He picks him up. He hits him with a freaking pile driver. I'm like, yeah, you killed him, bro. You might as well go for the pin. I don't like this guy. But then, yeah, they on the outside, and ref goes for the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they roll back inside the ring. There was a shoulder pop spot that MJF did to Rouge, working over his arm again. Rouge manages to recover, goes for the bull's horns, which is his finisher. So drop kick directly to your face while you sat in the corner, pulls him. But he doesn't pull him, unfortunately, amateur mistake. He doesn't pull him to the middle of the ring to go for the cover, which could have given him a better chance of becoming the new AEW World Champion. Instead, he slightly pulls him, but his feet are still close to the ropes, so that ended up in a rope break. Tries to go for another bull's horns, but that gets reversed into. Oh no, he tries to go for the bull's horns on the outside while MJF is rested on the barricade side. But then MJF reverses it, gets out of the way. He kicks the barricade down. So now they're basically in the fan area. And that's where MJF picks him up for a freaking tombstone on the outside. Nasty. They make it back to ringside. Rouge manages to recover, goes to the top rope, tries to go for a shotgun dropkick. MJF gets out of the way, works over the arm again, rolls him up into a lapel lock. Shout out Bryan Danielson, the GOAT. And Rouge, he doesn't tap out. He passes out, like out of defiance. It's like, I'm not gonna tap out to no MJF, bro. Like, I am tired, I'm sore. He's got my arm worked over, and like it's aching right now, but I'm not gonna tap. So, as a sign of defiance, he looks at him, sticks his tongue out, throws in a middle finger, and then he passes out. So MJF is still the AEW World Champion, successful retention. He won clean, so he didn't cheat. Have to commend him. Like, this is what I've been wanting. Again, like, I have this thing with heels. As a heel, you don't have to necessarily win every match by cheating. You can just outsmart the competition, I think that gives somebody license more to brag about their victories. It's like, yeah, I didn't even have to go for, the Dynamite Diamond Ring while the ref is not looking, a low blow, an eye rake, none of that. Like, I just outsmarted the competition. I was the better wrestler tonight, which MJF was. So he won clean, he successfully defends the AEW World Championship, and then Mark Briscoe shows up in the post-match. to stop MJF from a post match beatdown on Rouge just after he has defeated him. Uh, hits Mark Briscoe with a low blow. And then, as he's about to hit him with the championship, the conglomeration runs out and fends him off. So, this leads to a match between Mark Briscoe and Leo Rush. Second match of the night. I'm crazy, man. Like, I wasn't expecting to see these two interact, but I'm glad we got it. I wish it had more time, though. It could have been like a better contest, but either way, starts off with Mark Briscoe's Enziguri. Uh, they square up and they try to psych each other out because Blackheart Leo Rush is like has this black ink in his mouth, and Mark Briscoe is Sussex County Chicken, his redneck kung fu. So these personalities just clicking and making magic in the ring. Mark Briscoe goes for a blockbuster to the outside. There's a scoop slam spot. Well, when they're back in, a bunch of chop exchanges. There's a suplex. And then Mark Briscoe hits him with a sliding lariat, much like Tomohiro Ishii's, for a near fall. Hits him with another lariat, but that doesn't work. He ends up biting his forehead in the corner. Leo Rush manages to get out of that, hits him with the Kushida special, which is a handspring into a kick. Mark Briscoe falls to the outside, and then he hits his I don't even know what you call it, bro, but like it's his version of the topic on Hilo, but he does it like he's running like a dog. So he does this thing, he runs around the ring, and then he hits his low pay basically because it's the bottom rope. Hits Mark Briscoe with it. Goes back in the ring. He does his rush hour blitz, so his combination of double forearm chop to the midsection and then a high forearm. He hits that come up. I love that move, that his springboard stunner from the bottom rope. Goes for the cover, that doesn't work. Mark Briscoe goes for his redneck kung fu, so he's like uppercutting him, chopping him, open hand strikes, hits an exploder suplex. There's a point where they're at the top rope. Leo Rush is at the top rope because he's trying to go for final hour, but Mark Briscoe reverses it into an iconoclasm. Mark Briscoe picks up Leo Rush, tries to go for a J Driller. Leo Rush reverses that, turns it into a switch kick, goes for the cover. There's a kick out. Mark Briscoe gets up. Leo Rush is trying to go for another come up, but Mark Briscoe reverses to a forearm to the back of the neck. Picks him up for a cutthroat driver, nails him on the top of his head. 1, 2, 3, Mark Briscoe picks up the win. Solid, fun bout, just exchanging back and forth. The pace is fast, the crowd is excited, they're into it. Mark Briscoe grabs the mic and he addresses MJF. He's like, yeah, I want a shot at the AEW World Championship next. And he talks about like how he rewinds to 2023 when his big bro Jay Briscoe passed away, rest his soul. And he's talking about how like that he had a lot of anger after his brother's passing. Like they did everything together. And he passed away a day before Mark Briscoe's birthday and a week before, like Jay Briscoe passed away a week before his own birthday. And how he had all this pent up aggression in him, but then through the conglomeration, he managed to find brothers where he could enjoy professional wrestling again. And, he grieved the loss of his brother in a healthy way until he met MJF. So, MJF tends to bring out the worst in people. That's kind of his thing. Rich white kid from Plainsview, New York, doesn't have the most pleasing qualities in a person. So yeah, and then those feelings that Mark Briscoe tried to suppress now came up in the surface again, and yeah, man. So now he's gonna take that anger. He's gonna focus it on becoming AEW World Champion. So he has his eyes fully set on MJF and the AEW World title. So I think that's probably gonna be set up for either next week or 2 weeks time. I'm not sure, but yeah, it will be announced. And then we had, I think, a backstage segment with Moxley and Osprey. I'm like, well, for one, I'm happy that there was no overdrawn, long, boring John Moxley segment on the show. There was no Edge and Christian on the show. There was no boring 55-year-old Chris Jericho match on this show. So all those things contribute to having a great Dynamite episode to me. When they're not around, it gets bonus points. Yeah. So yeah, Mox is talking about how Will Ospreay is gonna have his match with Mark Briscoe in the main event, and Mark Davis, sorry, Mark Davis in the main event, and the man you were since you last faced Mark Davis is not the same man you are now. So I'm gonna need you to walk into that match with aggression and take care of business, as if Will Ospreay needs this advice from John Moxley. He's effing Will Ospreay, bro. He's the best in the world. What are you talking about? He doesn't need your expertise. He's been doing this long before you came into the picture. But I digress. So my guy La Sombra, Andrade El Idolo, has a squash match. Uh, you know, quick victory for him. Racks up some dubs in his win column, and then he addresses MJF as well. It's like, yeah, my hermano, mi amigo Rush, he did lose in a fighting effort against MJF in the opener, but the same is not gonna happen to me because I know that MJF cannot beat me. And I have my sights fully set on the AEW World Championship. And I love this because, there's a sense of urgency that people want to be the best in the promotion. And who better, like, to call yourself the absolute number one guy and face of the promotion, you have to be the AEW World Champion. And I love the fact that in this promotion there are numerous amount of challengers for the AEW World Championship. I said I will try to bring up WWE as small as possible. That company has nothing new, bro. It's stale. So bad. So it's always the same 2, 3, 4 names at the top. There's nothing new. It's just a rehash of old stories and whatnot. They don't have actual, like, they don't even try to put their young stars in prominent positions and make them main event guys and stay main event guys. It's always a bunch of 40-year-old plus niggas who whatever. So yeah, AEW has the opposite. Like it cultivates its present, and future to be hungry and starving to be the number one guy in the promotion, and they give you those opportunities to prove yourself and to stay in that company, to stay in the mix of the main event picture. So I appreciate I appreciate that a lot about Tony Khan's bookings. He actually cares and invests time in the future of professional wrestling. So that is something that I invest in myself the most, because I care more about the people that are going to be here for the next 10, 15 years, 20 years, compared to the people that who have been here for the last 20 years plus. Because the time's running out, Papa. You're going to be retired in the next 2, 3 years. I'm trying to see people who are gonna hold this space and take it and elevate it to new heights going forward. So yeah, hence why AEW is my favorite wrestling promotion in the world, because it's looking ahead while the other promotions looking to the past, because nostalgia is all they know. That's all they can grasp on. And the funny thing is, they have all the talent, they just don't know how to utilize them. It's whatever. So Andrade addresses MJF, says he's going for the AEW World Championship, and then Don Callis interrupts him, and he has something important to say. To my amazement, he just announced that Kevin Knight, our current TNT champion, has joined the Don Callis family. I'm of two minds of this. I kind of wanted Kevin Knight to do his own thing as a heel, or like be more in alignment with what Swerve is doing. Like maybe the rebirth or the remake of the Mongol Embassy. So like basically an all black faction. Maybe we would have a Swerve, of course, as the head of the faction. Would have Kevin Knight under him as commander in chief or whatever, like second lieutenant, and then would have the tag team of the faction, which my pitch would have been Private Party if Mark Quinn was fully healthy. Get well soon, young brother, man. It's so unfortunate. Like every time he comes back and he is on a roll, he's gathering momentum. Just there's these nagging injuries that just tend to take him out just when he's becoming good again. So shout out to Mark Quinn, man, young black man trying to make things work. Underrated tag team hooper. So I would have Private Party a part of the Mongol Embassy. So it would be Swerve, Kevin Knight, Mark Quinn, and Isaiah Cassidy. But yeah, Don Callis being ever the cunning businessman, he managed to persuade Kevin Knight, the judge, towards him to join the Don Callis family. So, which is great for Kevin Knight, because this is gonna rocket launch his career. See, whenever you're partnered with the likes of a Paul Heyman or a Don Callis on your side, if you have one of them as your manager, like your stock is bound to rise. And if you suck, then it's a you problem, because their clientele list, it's pristine, man. Like they manage to make everybody bigger stars than they originally were, or they add on to already the superstardom that you already have. So young black man, it's only up from here, you know. Um, yeah. So that immediately leads us to our TNT championship match between Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. So, of course, these two are former tag team. It's my notebook. Former tag team, and they know each other like the back of their hands. So obviously, it's a stalemate to begin the match. Kind of back and forth. Roll ups, reversals, schoolboys, kickouts. Their sequences are beautiful. They're guys that heavily rely on their agility, their athleticism, their striking ability, more specifically Mike Bailey in that aspect of things. Kevin Knight's got hops, man. Like the way he doesn't jump, he glides. He soars in the air like an eagle. Like, this guy's fantastic. It must be the shoes. I don't know, man. This guy's got springs in his knees or something. It's fantastic. So there was a point where Mike Bailey was going for a schoolboy roll up, and Kevin Knight got out of that, hits a leapfrog over him. Um, they're on the outside, and Speedball goes for his springboard sky twister. Beautiful move. Um, oh, and then they're back on the inside. Mark Briscoe, no, sorry, not Mark Briscoe. Speedball Mike Bailey goes for a shooting star press, which gets reversed into a stalling suplex by Kevin Knight into a lariat for a kick out. Um, so now they're in the corner, and then Kevin Knight is trying to go for his corner lariat, but that gets reversed by Mike Bailey into an up kick. Turns that into a time adventure, like a nasty spinning back kick, bro. Like, the accuracy of Mike Bailey's kicks is something to be studied by, like, professional wrestlers or people that want to be professional wrestlers. Like, the way he's able to make it look like he just kicked your head off your shoulders, bro. Like, his heel just like clips Kevin Knight in a way that's like, oh my god, did he just kill this man? So his time adventure, he kicks him, falls out, goes for the cover with his kick out. There's now a point in the match where they're both on the apron and they're standing on opposite ends, and Kevin Nash is doing the thing where he's jeering him like, I know you want to do the springboard double, the double springboard lariat spot, but I'm not going to give you the satisfaction. So Mike Bailey commits to it, of course, because he's Speedball, man. He does this for real. He commits to it, but he sees the fake out by Kevin Knight, so he lands in the middle of the ring. Um, Kevin Knight goes inside as well, but he gets pushed off, falls to the outside. Now Speedball is going for his triangle moonsault, but that gets reversed. Tumbles to the outside. Kevin Knight waits for him to get up, and then he does his leaping lariat, springboard, top, bam, lariat to the outside. Beautiful. Nails him with that, puts him back in the ring, goes for a roll up. There's a kick out. And then Speedball goes for his, I don't know what to call it. Is it a moon stomp? But with your knees. So a moonsault into your knees and lands directly on his chest, Kevin Knight. It's like filthy, bro. Like, these guys are going at an insane pace. Um, you know, So now Speedball goes for his buzzsaw kick and does kick combination. At this point, like, the pace is so fast for even Kevin Knight that he can barely reverse. So he backs up into the corner. Mike Bailey goes for his tornado kick, hits him right there on the neck. Um, he goes to the top rope because that's going to set up for the ultimate weapon. But Kevin Knight reverses it into the Frankensteiner. He does it with such fluidity too, because usually when people go to, like, the top rope, they go, like, their instinct is going for the traditional Hurricane Rana, but he does a Frankensteiner, and like, with no hands, bro. He just like grabs you with his legs. He throws you to the mat. Goes for a backstabber for a near fall, and then Speedball was going to go for, I think, a German, but Kevin Knight manages to get out of that. Um, They find themselves in the corner again. Kevin Knight was thinking of going UFO splash, but that gets reversed. Kevin Knight was at the top rope, and Speedball Mike Bailey was going to go for the Flamingo Driver, so which is his most effective finisher, but he only busted out when, like, I'm really trying to end things now. I'm trying to end the match. I'm trying to become TNT champion. Goes for the Flamingo Driver. There's a distraction spot by Jake Doyle, which allows Don Callis to get up the rope, to get up on the apron, to stop Mike Bailey from going for the Flamingo Driver. Kevin Knight now reverses that. He picks him up into a freaking sky high. So, a top rope version of a spine buster. But instead of Mike Bailey landing flat on his back, he lands on his, like, vertebra, like, top of his neck, bro. Like, oh, filthy. Gives him a sky high, picks him up, hits him with a Uranagi, which I think now he's calling a crash landing because he's the Jet, you see. So yeah, hits him with the Uranagi. Doesn't give him any time to breathe. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Knight is still the TNT champion. Beautiful contest. I would have liked it if it was like just like with no interference, just one on one. But of course, Don Callis seeing that his newest client was in trouble and he almost got knocked clean out with that Flamingo Driver. He couldn't let that happen because this is new investment. Kevin Knight retains. And he says in the post match that, me and Don Callis about to make some history in this business, and I'm going to take over. I'm going to become Jet 2 belts. I'm going to be the next greatest thing that this promotion has ever seen, that professional wrestling has ever seen. And I'm inclined to agree because, he does great work, man. Again, I prefer Kevin Knight as a baby face, but him as the cocky, arrogant young heel, a handsome brother, TNT champion, is rolling around with the Don Callis family, so he's bound to have this huge chip on his shoulder. Like, can't nobody touch me right now. I'm doing the best work of my career, and it's only up from here. So yeah, great match. Speedball gets robbed again in the TNT title match because if you remember from his previous time that his challenge for the TNT Championship was against Kyle Fletcher. Again, there he had to deal with the Don Callis family interfering in his match when he came this close to becoming TNT Champion for the first time in his career. And, they stopped his momentum, and then Kyle Fletcher retained there. So it's basically history repeating itself when it comes to Speedball. He might have to get himself some backup or find a way to eliminate the people on the outside and then have his fair one-on-one shot. It might even, like, if they have a trilogy, I can see it being either everybody being banned from ringside or being a steel cage match, so that there's no interference whatsoever. It's just me versus you, championship on the line. The better man wins. Looking forward to that. And then we go to the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So Alex Windsor comes out. Our opponent is the wild card. It's question mark. Who is question mark? Might you ask? It can only be the Standard, the Blueprint, the CEO. As soon as you hear the bell ring, you know the boss is in the ring. My glorious CEO, Mercedes Moné, Boston, Massachusetts finest, is back, baby. Last year's 2025 Women's Owen Hart Foundation finalist and winner hath returned from her hiatus. She is back at work. She is gorgeous. She is fantastic. She hasn't lost a beat. She has I think she's remixed her theme song now. Like, it has a more trap sound to it. It's gonna take getting used to. But listen, I'm just happy you're back because I was like, dude, it's been 6 months and we haven't seen the best female wrestler on the planet today. What is this? Where are you? So I'm glad Mercedes Monet has returned and has her trilogy with Alex Windsor. So they're tied 1-1. Their first match was in Rev Pro for the undisputed British Women's Championship, which Mercedes successfully defended. The rematch was last year, December, I believe, AEW Collision for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, where Alex Windsor won that one. And this was the tiebreaker. Mercedes Monet, bro, came in like a house of fires. Like, I'm back. I'm here to step on your necks. I'm here to take back what's mine. The throne has been taken. Like, ain't nobody gonna replace me. Look who we talking about. Look who we talking to, man. So, it starts out with. Oh, what did I write here? Oh, pardon me. um, so there's a backstabber spot, followed by a drop kick by Mercedes. And then Alex Windsor heads into her arm drag spots. So those deep arm drags that she likes to do, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Quick, snappy, doesn't give you room to like free your arm for a reversal. So she hits those arm drags back to back. Mercedes goes for her La Mistica, which she turns into a statement maker. So bank statement for those who remember Sasha Banks from WWE. So she transitions that into a statement maker. Alex Windsor gets out of that. There's another backstabber spot by Mercedes. She tries to go for a Meteora, which gets countered by Alex Windsor, who manages to hit her with a neck breaker. And then they move to the outside. That's where now Mercedes is trying to go for these multiple meteors so that she manages to put Alex Windsor's shoulders on the mat. So she's looking for a quick victory. And Alex Windsor fights out of it because she's no small pickings, man. Like, she's legit tough. That's Mrs. Osprey is one of the strongest women on the planet today. In the land of Graps. And there's a spot where like Mercedes tries to go for the pin and Alex Windsor kicks out, and then the camera zooms in on Mercedes' face and she has this mini crash out. It's like, okay, I'm gonna calm down. I'm not gonna react like I used to in the past. I've went to therapy. So it's giving context as to why she's been away from AEW Dynamite recently, because ever since she lost all 14 of her championships last year, man, she was on an incredible run. 2025 was hers. Like, that run was beautiful. It's going to be talked about for generations to come. So she pours herself, she tells herself to calm down. She goes for a Three Amigos spot. She hits it successfully. Goes to the top rope, tries to go for a frog splash. Shout out to Eddie Guerrero, but that gets reversed by Alex Windsor. Hits her with an iconoclasm, followed by a lariat, a stiff lariat, nasty one. They're on the outside. Alex Windsor goes for her cannonball to Mercedes. Puts her back inside the ring. Goes for the cover. There's a kick out. Mercedes tries to go for another backstabber. This gets reversed by Alex Windsor, who turns it into the Alex driver or the Windsor driver for a near fall. Tries to go for a sharpshooter to try to win by submission over Mercedes, but that gets reversed into an up kick. And then Mercedes goes for her Meteora again from the corner, hits it successfully, goes for a sunset bomb into the corner on Alex Windsor. She hits that. goes for a schoolgirl roll up. That doesn't work. Gets up, goes for a backstabber, and then pulls Alex Windsor into the center of the ring. Goes for the statement maker this time. Traps the arm. So Alex Windsor is basically in the center. She has nowhere to go. She is far from the ropes. And she's like, damn, I have one of two options. I either tap out or pass out. But I don't want to get injured as well. So I'm going to live to fight another day. She taps out. Mercedes Monet advances in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. We're going back to back in tournament finals, baby. She's going to go there. She's going to face Athena in the rematch from last year's AEW Dynamite Spring Breakthrough episode. Fantastic match. I can't wait for them to mix it up again in the ring one on one. Listen, bro. Mercedes was not playing around. Mercedes is back to snatch y'all chains. Mercedes is back to take back her property, which is the AEW Women's World Championship, currently belonging to Tekla. I don't like Tekla. So I'm just happy that Mercedes is back, man. Just the reaction for her coming back to Dynamite immediately gave her a breath of fresh air, injected new life into the women's division, which it has sorely, desperately needed. And yeah, man, listen, this woman knows how to change a landscape like within an instant. She knows how to garner energy. She knows how to translate that into making everything that she participates in high profile. So whenever she steps into the ring with another woman, she raises their stock as much as like she wants them to be on her level. You know, like it's pointless just being there by yourself and nobody manages to catch up. So she tries by all means to, you know, bring out the best in you, like help you evolve as a performer. Like she makes you invest more time into your moveset. She helps you invest more time into your timing in the ring. Like if this said move doesn't work in your previous encounter with her, try to adapt or like advance how you do it. Like you able to alter the way you use your maneuvers in order to get one up on her, because she always elevates herself. She studies tape, my guy. She knows like what she's walking into, hence why she comes prepared and comes out on top. you know so I'm very excited that my CEO is back. The women's division has life again. Like it's sunshine and rainbows, man. I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Um, to mention from Saturday's collision, Hazuki beat Maya World to advance in the tournament as well. So she'll be meeting Persephone Ladiosa this weekend on Collision to see who will face Mercedes um, in the tournament as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Hoping, praying that nothing goes wrong, everything goes smoothly. I'll try to get some mobile data so that I can have no interruptions, so that I don't have to solely rely on Rotella, but because give me problems. I want to be like stern about the schedule that I've set out for myself. I'm doing post Dynamite reviews every Thursday. I'm doing post Collision reviews every Sunday. That's how I want it to be. I don't want there to be breaks. So, of course, barring things like that, like technical difficulties, cards subject to change, etc. But I want it to be like a rigid schedule. Like you're gonna see my face on Thursday. You're gonna see my face on Sunday, reviewing these shows, because I love All Elite Wrestling. And yeah, I just want to share my love for Graps, man. with the internet. And hopefully, this leads me to more opportunities moving forward, and I can finally reach my dream of becoming a wrestling commentator, the first South African born commentator, because I'm your number one South African correspondent for all things All Elite. That's me. Yahweh willing, I make it there one day, even if it's once. So, yeah. This episode flew by, bro, and it was fantastic because we were already gearing up for the main event, which was Will Ospreay versus Dunkzilla Mark Davis Part 4 in the Men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Now, Ospreay has to guard his neck because if you remember from the last time that they fought, Mark Davis, lock in. Mark Davis is a master at variations of pile drivers, which attack your neck. And the last time they fought, it ended by ref stoppage, which Will Ospreay lost. So this time I had to come in with a whole new tenacity, a whole new strategy to put down Big Burly Dunkzilla Davis, the current AEW National Champion. So Ospreay straight out of the gate goes for a chop block, attacks Mark Davis's knees, which I've always thought, like, why don't more people do that when they're facing somebody that's bigger than them, that's taller than them, like a heavyweight? If you know that you're of short stature and you can't outpower your opponent physically, you should go for their legs, bro. That's their weakness. Attack the cartilage on their knees, bro. Because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So, of course, Will Ospreay, being the great professional wrestler that he is, attacks Mark Davis's knees. So there's this exchange where he hits him with a snap rana. Mark Davis cuts off his momentum with a scoop slam. Hits him with a couple of chops. Ospreay gets thrown to the ropes, hits his step up in Zagiri. Mark Davis gets up. Ospreay tries to go for another snap rana, but that gets reversed into a backdrop. And then immediately into a senton, so just crushing all like 290 pounds on Ospreay. Goes for an abdominal stretch, so tries to work his lower back and arm. But he is also like targeting his neck because he's grabbing him in a way by he doesn't want him to move, and he's trying to deal damage to his neck. So Ospreay now manages to get out of that. Davis tries to go for his lariat. Ospreay reverses that into his handspring enziguri. Goes to the apron to the outside. Hits him with the Pip Pip Cheerio, which is his version of AJ Styles' phenomenal forearm. I love it. Goes for an arm wringer on Mark Davis to make sure that he doesn't, like, he's not able to use that arm to go for his lariats and to set him up for these pile drivers. And then they're on the outside. Mark Davis takes Will Ospreay, he throws him towards the barricade. Neck first, of course, because that's his strategy into this match. Just trying to beat him the exact same way that he did in the last encounter that they had. Ospreay manages to recover. There's a snap run on the outside. Ospreay keeps on banging Mark Davis's head on the announce desk. So Mark Davis, he breaks out of that, and he hits Ospreay with this X-Plex. So it's basically like a suplex, like a release version of a suplex. Like, no care in the world of how you land, he just throws you. Hits him with this X-Plex. Ospreay falls on the announce table. I'm like, oh damn, no. Will, please don't get injured, bro. Xplex on the announce desk uh, gets put back in the ring. Mark Davis hits him with a suplex for a near fall, chops him. There's an eye rake. Um, he hits him with this corner forearm, which is also like a chop variation. While he's in the corner, and then he beals him, bro. Like he just grabs Osprey's neck. He grabs his shoulder, goes underhook, and then he just throws him from pillar to post, from this side of the ring to the other side, like he's nothing, like a grown ass man just being thrown, like he weighs nothing. I'm like, bro, bro, come on, recover from this. Hits him with the spiel, hits him with a back suplex, hits him with some chops. So now he's just Mark Davis is playing with his food. So he's just like, is that all you got, Will? Like, are you gonna get up? So Will Ospreay is like, okay, I see what you're talking about. Does his kip up Enzigiri, followed by the Kawada kicks, followed by a super kick. Mark Davis tries to go for a lariat. He reverses that into a hook kick, followed by a roundhouse kick, followed by the Robinson special, which he hasn't done in a long time. He said he wasn't going to do it anymore because it affects his midsection. And, he's not as agile as he used to be because he's gained a lot of muscle since his best of the Super Junior days. But he hits it. He hits it perfectly. Hits the Robinson special. Hits a German suplex, surprisingly. A neck bridge, too, for a kick out. Goes for the arm clip. He goes for the arm clip on Mark Davis. Then Mark Davis hits him with a disgusting deadlift pile driver for a near fall. Crowd's going crazy. There was then a point where there's some interference from the Don Callis family, and then the Death Riders came in, and then they managed to get them out of the ring so that it can just be Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis. So at this point, there was also where Mark Davis and Ospreay were on the outside. Ospreay manages to get in the ring first. As soon as Mark Davis was trying to get into the ring, Ospreay hits him with a springboard coast to coast. He picks him up for a freaking Styles Clash. Ospreay, bro, you crazy man. Hits him with a Styles Clash. Goes for a cover. There's a kick out. So now Mark Davis gets picked up again. He manages to get out of that. But then there's a hidden blade spot by Ospreay, followed by an Os cutter. Near fall. Goes for a hidden blade again. Gets reversed. Tries to hit it again. Nails it. Goes for the cover. There's a kick out. Picks up Mark Davis for a Stormbreaker. Mark Davis reverses that into an awful waffle. Another variation of the pile driver. Shout out to Chuck Taylor. That was his finisher. So, like, it's an immediate, like, gut wrench, picks you up, instant pile driver. I thought the match was over, bro. I was like, there's no ways Will Ospreay is not going to advance to the finals of the Men's Honor Foundation tournament final. Luckily, he kicks out. I'm like, grasping the straws. It is 4 a.m. in the morning. I am trying as best as I can not to lose my mind at this time. I'm like, under my breath, in the lounge, writing my notes. I'm going crazy. The crowd's going crazy. And then Mark Davis tries to go for another one. Ospreay reverses this. Oh, no. Mark Davis throws him to the ropes, tries to go for one of his lariats. Ospreay reverses it, turns it into a Jujigatami, which he calls the Death Ground. pulls on that same arm that has been working over the entire match of Mark Davis. Center of the ring, Mark Davis tries to get to the ropes with his legs, but he couldn't. He's just too far. And he feels the tension of his shoulder, like just like, oh my goodness. I cannot afford a shoulder separation myself because I still want to defend my AEW National Championship. He taps out. Osprey is going to the men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Finals, June 28th, Forbidden Door. Now, at this point, I'm looking at the other side of the bracket. I'm like, Swerve has to beat Brody King again so that we can get Osprey and Swerve in the final. 2 years removed from their AEW World Championship match at Forbidden Door. Story just writes itself, man. Like, listen, these guys are about to cook again, as usual. Standard procedure, best in the world. Pete Graps Mayne. Hence why I named my podcast that. Huge pop from the crowd. Everybody singing, "Oh, spray, oh, spray." Listen, bro. William Peter Charles Osprey is my favorite professional wrestler in the world. I love this man. He's going to become AEW World Champion. He will face Kenny by God Omega at Wembley Stadium, in Wembley Stadium, at All In. Like, you can't mess this up. Like, it's too perfect. It's too right. You know, very keen, very excited for that. He has secured his spot in the Men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Final. Now it's just a matter of Swerve, who will be facing Brody King next week on Dynamite in the Summer Blockbuster episode, which I'm guessing is also a 3-hour special. Yeah. So, lots to look forward to. Great episode of Graps, great episode of Dynamite. Hard crowd in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hangman Page was mentioned for the first time in a long time. So I'm hoping that we hear some more from him, the man specifically. I miss you, Cowboy. Please come back. Like, we need some, man. You're the main character of this show, bro. Like, this hiatus has been driving me insane ever since he lost his match against MJF at Revolution. We haven't heard a peep from Hangman Adam Page. Well, granted, he's taking care of his family, man. You know, he's got a wife, he's got 2 kids, and yeah, I'm always big on wrestlers spending more time with their family than they do, like on the road. You know, like, I understand it's your job, but it's very important not to forget that the people that care about you most when these cameras are off are the ones that are at home. So priorities, he has set them straight and correctly. But selfishly, as a Hangman Adam Page fan, I love and miss you, Cowboy. Please come back soon, like next week, if that's okay with you and your missus. So yeah, that wraps up this episode. That is my review of the June 3rd, 2026 episode of AEW Dynamite. Thanks for coming to the show. You can see I'm beaming. I had so much fun reviewing the show. I couldn't wait. Like, I could barely sleep. I was like, I couldn't wait to get up on here and talk to you guys about this episode, man. Like, lots of fun things were set up. We also got an exchange between, I forgot to mention, there was an exchange between Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita during the outside brawlings during the main event between Osprey and Mark Davis. So, and also Kazuchika Okada said he's not done with Konosuke Takeshita, and he wants back the AEW International Championship. So we'll see how that goes, whether we're getting Konosuke Takeshita versus Cal Fletcher right away, or we're getting a rematch with Okada right away, or it's going to be a triple threat at Forbidden Door. Either way, it's going to be great grabs, and I am highly anticipating that. It's gonna be a fun time, man, for us sickos, for us in-ring enthusiasts. Yeah, I'm in a great mood, man. My CEO's back. There was no old man Jericho on the show. There was no boring Mox matches. There was no Edge and Christian. The dogs are set up to face the Young Bucks, I think, probably next week. We're gonna get some great tag team grabs as usual because this is AEW. This is the home of professional wrestling, baby. So we're the best wrestle, and yeah, I will be here again on Sunday to cover Collision. So yeah, this has been episode 3 of Graps, Mayne with Tembelihle Bonda, your number one South African correspondent for all things All Elite. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, share your friends, tell people who've been interested, who've heard about AEW. I'm your guy. I'll fill you in. If you want to tune into AEW, you can catch it on HBO and TBS. Of course, for us South Africans, it plays at 2 a.m. Again, if your schedule doesn't allow you to, I would suggest that you watch it the day after on the myaew.com app. And get that. All the episodes are in order over there. So yeah, you can tune into the show and then come and see me for the review. Yeah, that's all from me, guys. Gotta hop on out of here. It's been great talking Graps with y'all, and till next time for episode 4. Peace.